Hello, everyone. I'm Elise as Another Truth on YouTube. I hope you're doing well and you're taking great care of yourselves. Since today's Labor Day, I want to wish you a very happy Labor Day. If you are working today, I still appreciate your hard work and hope you can find some time to enjoy the holiday. I hope your weekend was restful and recuperative. Before I get into today's topic, I need to issue a very strict content warning. I'll be discussing sensitive issues related to Katy Joy, as without a crystal ball, including her behavior, her mental health, and attention-seeking tactics. If these topics are triggering for you, please feel free to step away and return. I am discussing things that are distressing. Everything I say here and that I'm sharing here is based on my personal opinions, perspectives, and experiences. I'm not an expert in anything. Please keep that in mind as you watch this. Also, I want to make it very clear that I do not condone or tolerate any abusive behavior directed towards anyone mentioned in this video. This includes the misuse of law enforcement or social services for the intention of harassment. Such actions are unacceptable, especially when they affect other individuals, such as their families and pets. If you're aware of someone who's in immediate danger, it's your responsibility to report it according to your local laws. Now, let's discuss issues surrounding Katy Joy, particularly in the context of these online panels. Now, you all know she's been on a number of other people's panels. She is tempted to overtake them, making herself the center of them. She gets called out. She doesn't like to answer direct questions. She abruptly leaves. She doesn't know how to be a panelist. So, her biggest problem is her attention-seeking behavior. Katy Joy's approach often revolves around seeking attention, which can be problematic in discussions. Katy frequently dominates conversations, which disrupts the panel's flow and prevents other panelists from contributing meaningfully. This behavior often shifts the focus from the discussion's main topic to her own personal agenda. Her obsession with Gypsy Rose is her primary concern, not with the injustice to anybody else around Gypsy Rose's life. Her sensationalism is another issue. She tends to engage in sensationalist tactics to attract attention. Now, this might involve making provocative statements or focusing on controversial aspects of a topic, which can divert attention away from more substantive discussions, especially the injustice of other people in Gypsy Rose's circle. And of course, Katy Joy's personal drama takes the stage. Katy Joy sometimes brings her personal drama into professional settings, I would say all the time, which can derail the intended discussion and create a toxic atmosphere. We have seen that from time to time on other people's panels, even including her own, where she is a terrible facilitator and host, and she is a dramatic and rank liar. Her participation creates several issues. Interruptions. Katy Joy often interrupts others, which not only frustrates other panelists, but also disrupts the flow of the discussion. This behavior makes it difficult for a structured and respectful conversation to take place. Obviously, she escalates conflicts. Instead of resolving conflicts, she tends to escalate them. This can lead to heated arguments in a hostile environment, which detracts from the panel's purpose and effectiveness. Now, on her own panel, that is her panels, her own live panels by design. That's exactly what it's intended to do. because she is so personally invested in this. Instead of separating herself from that like a responsible content creator or journalist, she has glommed on to these characters she tries to befriend and trash at the same time, and make content in retaliation because they will not give her what she wants. And that leads to the manipulative tactics she uses. Katy Joy is known to use manipulative tactics, which can also be problematic and have been. She sometimes selectively edits content to fit her narrative, which can misrepresent the context and unfairly target individuals. Now, when I say that, like, she connects other people's experiences and uses them as her own. She mimics other people. She will do whatever she can to take on the identity of the person. When I say identity, I'm not referring to identity theft. I'm referring to a person's persona, a hairstyle, a characterization, something, because she becomes obsessed with these people because she has no specific identity of her own. Personal attacks. There are instances where Katy has made personal attacks against other individuals, including other creators and panelists, and this is specifically on her own panel, but she has said things about other people that are inflammatory and disrespectful and disruptive. Such behavior undermines the integrity of the discussion and can be harmful. So she's not advocating for anybody who is wrongfully imprisoned. She's not advocating for a fair justice system, fair legal system. She perpetuates lies and obsesses over her targets because they refuse to participate. It gives her views and clicks she craves. She doesn't care who she manipulates. She influences in a way that can put people in emotional, psychological danger and physical danger as well, as that is my opinion. Now, by creating such discord and controversy, Katy Joy can shift focus from meaningful discussion to personal drama. This tactic can damage the credibility of the panel and diminish the quality of conversations. And, as much as I respect people who want to have different types of opinions, I feel two ways. Now, I don't know these content creators whose panels Katy Joy joins. Okay. Now, having a meaningful discussion means there has to be a good facilitator, okay, with a level of moderation, and, to fact check things, right? Now, Katy Joy is not just polarizing and controversial. She's downright dangerous. She has proved this time and time again. She's extremely inappropriate. She doxes, she disrupts, she defames. She's in a lot of trouble, and she does a lot of things to hurt people. And it is alleged that she is connected to some of the death threats and some of the other things that are going on, as much as she will deny it. She will take personal attacks against anybody who says no. She's lied about crimes. She's lied about people committing crimes against her, making suggestions that she's been the target of hate crimes when hate crimes were being called out during a very contentious time during the pandemic. I can go into that in great detail if you'd like. She's extremely dangerous. She is not somebody that should be impaneled at all. And the problem with it is it makes the people who host it look a certain way. Even if a content creator's backtracking and just says, okay, well, we're just putting her on and seeing what she does. It's still sort of this third party influence that can have a detrimental effect on the people on the panel and who are having a conversation in the chat, the audience members. This isn't going to drive up numbers in a positive way. Okay, this just perpetuates this cycle of depravity, chaos, disruption, and there are a lot of vulnerable people who watch this and might get caught up in it. And I think it's important to vet these panelists clearly. Look at their online reputation from their own content. Look at how they interact. And I think that bringing somebody as messed up as KJ is on there just to tease and taunt is not a good idea either. I think that just perpetuates some of the stereotypes against people with mental illness, with the various psychological disorders, personality disorders. I don't think it's a good look either. Now, I'm not telling people what to do with their panels when they have them live. And I think there are reasons for people to call out Katy Joy. I respect that because I don't have the experience of being directly affected by her that I know of yet, but I know other people have. They have been directly affected by her. So they may go after her a little bit more, actively than I will. But I still think justice should be done. And I will still speak up. I just don't have, I have that emotional intensity, but I'm not affected where my life is in danger. I can't possibly know that. So there might be some things that they post that I don't post. I'm triggered by some things. So I don't maybe not post the video of her essay demonstration. I won't do content about that because it's so triggering for me, but I can understand why another creator, especially a creator who's been affected by Katy Joy's bad behavior, would want to call it out. But I'm going to call it out anyway, but it's hard for me to discuss it just because it's so triggering, I don't mean to talk in circles here. It's like I feel both ways about that particular video. And I think if that's not a clear indication to stay away from Katy Joy, I don't know what is at this point. You have to call in her. That's dangerous behavior, in my opinion. Okay, so I want to get into some of the ethical concerns around this. Several ethical issues are associated with Katy Joy's behavior, obviously. Privacy invasion. There have been cases where Katy Joy has invaded individuals' privacy by sharing their personal information, doxing them, which raises concerns about what she does on the platform. And of course, YouTube doesn't give a crap and doesn't do anything about it. They don't care. The entity doesn't care. Neither does TikTok, it seems. Exploiting sensitive topics. Oh my gosh, we can go into this for days. Katy often exploits sensitive issues such as mental health, personal trauma, for personal gain. We've seen that time and time again with the Brown's son and among other people's alleged sexuality and so on. This approach is unethical and disgusting as it prioritizes her agenda over the well-being of those affected. She doesn't think about that. Now, if she's not thinking about that, why would she think about anybody else on a panel? Why would she give any consideration to the host of that panel or to the discussion at hand? She won't, because she's not interested in that. I mean, she would use the LGBTQIA plus community to say a hate crime was committed against her by destroying her own flag, in my opinion, to frame neighbors who spoke out against dogs she neglected. That's messed up. And of course, what else? The lack of accountability. Katy Joy has a history of resisting accountability because she thinks she's above the law. No one can touch her. Everybody's out against her, and nobody can say or do anything. She has to have the entire control of everybody's minds, hearts, souls, emotions, experiences, control over information. She is such an unmitigated liar and a loser deluxe. When faced with criticism, she may react defensively rather than addressing valid concerns, which prevents constructive dialogue. Well, no kidding, right? Because that's all she does. Oh, you're shouting at me. You're yelling at me. No, don't put this person on. Don't put that person on. This one's harassing me, because she doesn't want to face her own truths being thrown back in her face, as she should listen to. This isn't someone who has grown as a person. This is somebody who will change their mind to suit whatever is being discussed, so she gets attention and revenue from that. And when the FTC finally clamps down with their extended law on this, and her crowd suddenly diminishes, okay, she's going to be this cranky old woman on YouTube whining and crying how injustice is being done against her. You know, and Katy Joy doesn't respect older people anyway. She doesn't care about them. She doesn't care about anybody else but herself. And that ridiculous panel that she facilitated, okay, lied about her credentials, lied about having any knowledge of that type of work. Katy Joy wouldn't lift a nail or break a sweat to help anybody do anything, because she is self-centered, selfish, and she will do anything to preserve her fragile ego. Instead of inviting this person on to talk about their experience with Habitat for Humanity, which would be an exciting topic to talk about, especially if you're into things like that, what the meaning for that is. She could have had a very rich discussion about volunteering or what it's like to contribute, but Katy doesn't know that. All Katy knows how to do is take. That's it. Now, somebody made a suggestion on Nikki's video, on one of Nikki's videos, that maybe KJ applied for that house, to get a house through there or something, and she was denied, and that's why she's reacting in that way. That's a very astute observation, given that Katy Joy will attack anything or anybody that isn't provided to her or doesn't provide her. She resents anybody else benefiting from a community-based thing. She got a house, and she converted that house into revenue to buy this other house, and she can't even take care of the house she lives in. The roof is caving in. There's mold. There's infection. She has substances on her desk, which kids and pets can reach if she hasn't barricaded herself in that filthy room of hers. She doesn't take care of anything that she's given. She doesn't take care of her family. She doesn't take care of her pets. She doesn't take care of her house, and she doesn't take care of herself. That is rooted in a serious psychological breakdown, and she refuses to get help. She has the privilege of getting help. But instead, she's pissing out money being sued because she thinks that she has a right to do whatever the hell she wants to do. Now, the impact on panel discussions in general. Her presence on panels can have significant negative consequences or negative impacts. Katy's behavior diverts attention away from the main topics, causing the discussion to become focused on her actions rather than the issues. That's true. She hinders productive dialogue. Again, effective dialogue requires all participants to engage constructively and critically. Even if it's fun, it's chit chat, there's still this unspoken rule of giving each other space to come into their own. Disruptive behavior prevents these meaningful exchanges and undermines the panel's goals. Well, maybe the goal is to wind up Katy Joy. To me, that's completely pointless. I could never watch a live that does that. And I would never participate in one that does that. Affecting panel dynamics. Other panelists may feel sidelined or demoralized by her behavior, which can affect their participation and overall effectiveness of the panel. I'm very grateful to Sir Morbid X's panel because they are very responsible, well-spoken people who speak up for themselves, and I appreciate that. And then influencing audience perception. The audience may perceive the panel as less credible or professional and dominated by disruptive behavior, affecting their overall engagement and trust in the discussion and probably in the facilitator themselves. Now, I have facilitated panels online and in person in my past, and now, because now I have to do more of those as I come into my position. So, how I conduct myself and how I conduct that conversation, okay, it's reflected on me in my professionalism, okay? I can't just say willy-nilly interrupt people and dismiss people. There's skill behind conducting a successful panel and a productive discussion, okay? It's not just you wing it and that's it. Now, I know on here it's different, like on YouTube and TikTok, it's different, but there are people with skill running these things effectively, and I've seen it firsthand. Now, the broader implications. Katy Joy's actions can set a negative precedent for other content creators and participants, potentially encouraging similar disruptive behavior. Undermining credibility. Panels and discussions can lose credibility when controversial figures, well, she's not just controversial, she's dangerous, by dominating the conversation, impacting the quality and integrity of the content. So it loses its message and its purpose. It ends up garbage. It ends up a wretched pile of crap, which are pretty much the constitution of Katy Joy's TikTok lives. The problem is that Katy Joy's presence on TikTok poses a danger to a much younger crowd and to more impressionable people. And I think that Katy Joy's influence can damage people and hurt them and give them misinformation, disinformation, in order to get their attention, in order to get things from them, acknowledgement, things that she can't do too well on YouTube these days, or on Instagram for that matter. It's easier for her to go on this platform and do these insane lives and do nothing but take out her frustration on people she's obsessed with, people that she resents who will not give her what she wants, instead of focusing on the real problems that need to be looked at. Katy Joy is not interested in doing any of those things. She wants to join TikTok culture where she can just do whatever she wants to do. and harm people in the process. And all she does is embarrass herself. But if it didn't have that negative impact on other people, then I would be laughing at her. But I can't even do that because what she does hurt people. That's all I have to say on this matter. Until the next video, take care, and we'll talk again soon.